Hi students, hope everyone is fine and safe. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to my new video, and today's video is about how to prepare computer organization and architecture for university exam. In this video you will see unit-wise discussion, important question discussion and question paper discussion. And before starting this video, I'd like to set a clear expectation about the preparation for COA. Many of the students were posting comments and asking me personally for this particular video. I would like to set you a clear expectation about this video. See, this is not the video where I say you prepare only these questions, that is enough, so that you will get very good marks. Nothing like that. I'm just going to give you a guide to prepare for your university exams. And I will make it very sure that if you prepare all these questions, definitely you will be able to attend at least 80% of the questions in your question paper. Right. So with this expectation, I would like to start the video. Right. First, we'll start with unit-wise discussion. Right. And very often I could hear students saying that COA is very difficult subject, but COA is very easiest subject. And if you plan and study, you can definitely score more marks. Right. So unit-wise discussion, we'll start with unit 1. Unit 1 is one of the very easiest unit, and definitely you can able to attend all the questions in unit 1 if you prepare wisely. Okay. So unit 1 is completely full of problems, right? And only theory question which can be asked is logic gates, right? And the problems, you have to definitely go through all the problems, because understand one particular thing, in unit 1 you cannot directly ask an 8-mark question or a 12-mark question directly, right? So there will be split ups in questions. That is, you will have three to 4 problems, or you may have 2 problems, something like that, so that they can ask you in 12 marks or 8 marks, like that, right? So understand that you cannot neglect any problems, right? And we have already posted videos for all the topics. Up to 4th unit, we have completed all the topics, right? And I'm sorry that I'm not able to complete unit 5 at this time, right? But unit 1, as I said, like you can go through the videos, right? One by one, you can go through all the topics so that you can easily complete all the problems, right? So unit 1, you don't want to worry. If you prepare all the topics, all the problems, definitely you'll be able to write whatever question which is asked in 8 marks or 12 marks, right? And unit 2, right? I would say unit 2 is a trump card unit. That's because unit 2, even though it has a lot of topics to study, it is very easiest unit, right? All you're going to do is you're going to draw a diagram and you're going to explain. Okay. So in unit 2 also we have posted all the topics. What you can do is just go through the video, just look at the diagram, just understand what is the explanation I have given, right? So that you can easily write the concept, right? And understand one particular thing, even in unit 2, you don't have a direct 12 mark or an 8 mark question, right? Except instruction formats and as well as addressing modes. Okay, right? Apart from that, no questions can be asked in direct 12 marks or 8 marks, right? And questions like functional units, operational concepts, bus structures are once again just a diagram and explanation. Okay, so one of the easiest unit is unit 2. Okay, and unit 3, right? You can see that unit 3 has very less topics, but unit 3 is the very trickiest unit to study in COA, right? I would prefer you like to study unit 3 at last, right? Because you have a lot of concepts, right? And once again, unit 3 can be theory or it can be asked in problems as well, right? Which means you have to prepare for theory as well as for problems, right? For each and every topic, you have to be able to explain it in theory as well as problem. If the question is asked in problematic also, you should be able to solve that. Okay. But one fine thing is you don't want to study using your notes or you have to by heart something like that. If you do that, you will not be able to complete unit 3, right? All you have to do is you have to just open the video, right? Understand the logic, whatever explanation I have given, right? So for each topic, I have solved one problem. Just go through the problem, understand the logic, right? try, if time permits, try to solve it and check, right? So that you can cover those topics. So all you have to do is you have to understand what is the logic for each and every topic, for multiplier, for booth algorithm, bit pair coding, division, restoring division, all those things, right? You have a lot of topics to cover in unit 3, right? And so I would suggest you to prepare unit 3 at last. Okay. And unit 4, once again, you can see there is a lot of topics in unit 4. But once again, unit 4 is very simplest unit because you can predict questions, right? Even though there are a lot of questions, once again, diagram and explanation, right? Like unit 2, right? So even though if you study 4 to 5 questions, like you don't want to neglect all other questions, what you can do is you can just look at the diagrams alone so that you can write it by yourself, right? So fourth unit is also very easy, right? And fifth unit, right? Fifth unit, you will not be able to have proper notes. I believe we have given you the prescribed author book. That is more than enough, okay? So, but if you concentrate on 4 questions, that is more than enough, okay? I'll tell you what are the questions you have to prepare, okay? So this is unit-wise discussion, right? And we'll see question-wise discussion right now, right? And as I said, once again, I'm telling you, right? I'm not giving you the assurance that you have to study only these questions, right? But make it very sure you learn all these questions so that you can understand, you can write definitely 80% of the questions in the question paper, okay? So as I said in unit 1, definitely you have to go through all the problems, okay? Right. So problems is very simple, very simple. Definitely in unit 1, the problem is not at all complex. It is very simple. And I have posted video for all the topics. So you can just go through it so that you can definitely cover unit 1 within 2 hours. Okay. And logic gates is very simple. You want to understand what is the logic behind each and every gates and how it is implemented. Right. That is what you're going to study in unit 1. And for every unit, what we are going to do is we are going to study only 4 questions. Okay. So if you prepare these 4 questions, right, as I said, you will be able to answer at least 80% of the question, definitely. Okay. Right. In unit 2, you can see here, as I said in unit 2, right, only this instruction formats and addressing modes is very important question which can be directly asked in 12 marks. Right. And all other questions are very simple questions, right, and you cannot directly ask in 8 marks or 12 marks. Okay. So this instruction format and instruction sequencing is very important. You got to understand what are the different instruction formats and then how instruction sequencing along with that branching execution, all this you have to study. And then addressing modes is very important. Okay. And basic operational concepts, right? You have to explain how the processor works, how MAR, MDR, how the instruction register, everything works. Okay. And then memory addressability is also an important question. Okay. So these 3 questions is more than enough, right? But make it very sure all these are very simple questions. Don't neglect this, right? Features of 8086. This cannot be asked in 8 marks, but definitely these questions can be combined and can be asked in 8 marks. Features of 8086, right? Microprocessor versus microcontroller difference, right? And functional elements and bus configuration. Functional elements and bus configuration. Functional elements you would have studied even in 6th standard itself, right? What is the basic functional elements of computer? Input, output, all these things you are going to write. And bus configuration, what are the different bus configurations? Okay. So unit 2 is the trump card unit, as I said, right? We are not sure which question will be asked in part C, right? So if you study all the questions, all these questions in unit 2, definitely you will be very confident to attend any questions which will be asked in part C. If the question is asked from unit 2, definitely you will be able to attend. Okay, right? And unit 3, right? And as I said, unit 3, this is going to be a very challenging unit for you people, right? First thing you have to study about ALU design. We have already posted that video, right? And after that question, as I said, you should not study these questions using your notes, right, or book and all those things. All you have to do is you have to understand the logic, right? And you have to understand the difference between the logic from one method to the other method, right? You have to study definitely what are the different types of adders, Okay, and then definitely multiplication, you have to understand what is signed multiplication and unsigned multiplication, right? You have to know what is Booth algorithm, bit pair coding, carry save addition, right? And definitely you have to study both the restoring and non-restoring division. Once again, as I said, you have to be able to write these questions in theory as well as a problem. If the question is asked as a problem, you should be able to solve it. If it is asked like a theory to explain, you should be able to write it. Right? And as I said, you have to just understand the logic and you can write it by your own words. Right? Make it very sure, don't ever skip any questions in this particular 2, 3, and 4 because, right, even though if you miss any one or two topics, say for example, if you miss both algorithm on non-restoring division, there are chance that both those questions can be asked in 8 marks or in 12 marks. Okay, so you'll be in trouble, right? So just understand the logic. That is very, very important, right? Just go through the video, understand the logic, and make it very sure you will be able to explain it for 1 or 2 pages. That is more than enough, right? And unit 4. So unit 4, once again, as I said, it's going to be very easiest unit, right? And you can expect a split up from this particular question, like ALE operation, like basic processor operation. We have seen how fetching takes place, how instruction execution takes place, how branching instructions takes place. All those can be asked in 4 marks or 5 marks questions, right? Like a split up, it can be asked in 8 marks or 12 marks, right? And the second question, hardwired and microprogram control. You don't want to study that question. Just go through the diagram and the explanation. That is enough, right? We have posted the video for that as well, right? But unit 4, definitely you have to study these 2 questions. Very, very important. Definitely you have to study, right? In 90% of the question paper, you will have these questions, various hazards, right? It can be asked as various hazards and how to overcome that, or they can be asked as single hazard, like control hazard, data hazard, structural hazard. Any one hazard, they will ask you to explain and they will ask you to overcome that. Okay? So pipelining concept and various hazards, it's very, very important question. If you start unit 4, prepare these 2 questions first and then go through the other questions. The other 2 questions is just diagram and explanation. That's all. Right? And unit 5, right? Unit 5 is, you have a lot of topics, but I prefer you just study these four questions. That is more than enough. That's because, like first 2 questions is very, very important. Definitely you have to study both these questions, right? Don't leave the choice because you know that we have taken only 4 questions here. There are more than 8 to 9 topics in 5th unit. Okay, so that can be clubbed and can be asked. But definitely you will have questions from any of these 4 questions. So you will not be able to miss it, right? Parallelism, needs, strengths and challenges is very important. And Flynn classification is very, very important question. More than 90% of the question paper, you will have this question, right? We have this question in 90% of the question paper, right? And ARM processor, basic concept and thumb instruction set. That is very important question, right? And you can just go through the architecture of ARM 5 and ARM 7. It can be asked, okay? And in part C also it can be asked. So just go through the diagram and just read what is what. But make it very sure you definitely study these 3 questions, right? This is about important questions for COA, right? And we'll see about university questions, right? University question paper discussion. So for university question paper, I'm not going to discuss the question paper itself. That's because, right, this syllabus is new. Before this, we have a lot of syllabus change and as well as pattern is also changed. So if I'm going to discuss any particular question paper here, that will confuse you. So what I'm going to do is, I've given you some question paper, 3 to 4 question papers, university question papers in the description of the video. Just go through that so that you can understand what are the questions is asked, how the pattern is, okay? But this syllabus is new and this pattern is new for you, okay? That is, this is the pattern which is going to follow in COA, right? It will be a 75 mark question paper, and part A you'll have 20 marks, right? Make it very sure you get maximum marks in MCQ, right? And part B you have to answer 5 questions at either of choice. That is, in 5 units, you will be having 2 questions at either of choice. Definitely, if you study the questions which I have given, you should be able to at least attend 1 question for sure. Right. So, and part C, this is little bit challenging because we are not sure. 2 questions will be asked. From which unit it will be asked. You know, we're not sure about from which unit those questions will be asked. Right. So, make it very sure you cover all those questions which I said. So, probably you'll be able to attend at least 1 question here. Right. So, this is the question paper discussion. Okay. Right. So, I'd like to tell you one particular thing. Right. We have given you a lot of notes, lot of question banks, MCQs as well. Okay. I'm not able to share all those notes or all those MCQs, question banks in this particular link because it was not prepared by me and it is not ethical to add that in my video, right? So definitely you'll be able to get all those information from your staff member, okay? And one thing is, like, you'll have 3 question banks for unit 1 and then unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5. Go through the MCQ for all these questions, right? All this question bank, right? And then you have written 3 CLA tests, right? Just go through the MCQs of all those 3 CLA tests and look at concentrate on those questions as well, okay? And apart from it, right, you have assignments. We have given 2 to 3 assignments. You will have questions in that, so you can see the MCQ in those questions as well, right? So this is just an outline. This is the guide for you for preparation of COA. Hope this video will be very useful for you. So today what we have seen is, we have seen how to prepare for COA university exam. Okay, make it very sure before the exam you know you will be able to answer all the questions which I have discussed so far. Right? Thank you, students. All the very best for your exams. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Thank you for watching. கண்டிப்பாக இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு நம்புகிறேன். Subscribe Passionate Professor and keep learning. Thank you very much.